I said I was going to talk about it, so let's talk about it. This picture is from 2015. This one is from 2017. So I was well on my spiritual journey. I was already meditating, learned a lot through Dr. Wayne Dyer. He has some really good audios to listen to. That got me started. And then Deepak started the 21-day meditation. And it was wonderful. They were guided meditations. They were short. And I just devoured them. You know, they helped me relax. They helped me focus. They increased my intuition. I felt so grateful for that. So that's kind of what started me leaning in towards knowing more about what he's all about. So I started buying the books. Really didn't read them, honestly. There's some authors that I just felt drawn to, and the minute that I got the books, I would just have to read them from cover to cover. But I just didn't with him. I don't really know why, I just didn't. So, but I still appreciated, you know, what he was doing. I mean, he claimed to be meditating 3 hours a day. I'm like, wow, what a thing to aspire to. Like, I couldn't get past 20 minutes. So he came to the Tobin Center in San Antonio. So I wanted to see him. This was in 2015. So I went to see him, got in the front row. It was great. Sort of, you know, I honestly didn't really understand what he was talking about. It felt very scientific. It felt over my head. It didn't feel very engaging. It felt kind of, you know, robotic, but I just thought, it's just me. Like, I'm not understanding. I'm not able to focus maybe on it, and I don't quite get it. But there he was in his red shoes and everything and his sparkly glasses. I just thought, how cool that I get to see the Deepak Chopra, you know, because he's supposed to be it. And then I had paid for a meet and greet. So after his lecture, we all got in line, and I was pretty close to the front. And they didn't honestly have it organized very well for him. Like, his people didn't really have it set up to, you know, have somebody take pictures and, you know, get the autograph signed and move everybody on their way. And the first person, one of the first people that got up there, you know, wanted a picture with him, and they took a selfie and everything. I thought, okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna take a selfie. So that's what this picture is. So I went behind the table that he was at, and then I went to take the picture. And usually when I take a picture, I'm like really bad at selfies, as you can see, because he's half in here. So I wanted to take another one. I was trying to slide it over, and he's like, oh, no. And I actually have a picture, I just didn't develop it, of him rolling his eyes. So I can show you that if you want to see it. But there is a picture of Deepak aggravated for a second. I had a t-shirt for him, I gave him that, you know, and then he kind of snapped back out of it and was himself again. But I had noticed, even when I was standing in the line, that he was looking way to the end of the line to see how long it was. He looked like he didn't want to be there. And I just thought, okay, don't think like that. Don't trust your intuition. What's probably happening is he's exhausted. He's traveling, he's exhausted, he's human. But then I was also thinking, you meditate 3 hours a day. You should be so freaking zen. Like, you just should be zen. Like, I mean, I feel good after 20 minutes. I can't imagine what 3 hours a day would do. So all this stuff was kind of swirling in my head, and every time I felt like something doesn't feel right, I kind of would just dismiss it. And I had met Wayne Dyer a year or two prior, 2 years prior. And when I met him, I had no expectations. I knew that he was very nice to you know, his fans, that, you know, he was very warm and inviting. So I did expect that probably would happen. I happened to see him in the lobby of a hotel, and I stopped him and I asked him, you know, for a picture. He was fabulous, but and generous. What I noticed about him, though, was his aura. I mean, I've never experienced anything like that, ever. It just filled the entire room. It was so glaring, so immense. Like, it just, I don't really even know how to describe it. It's just that you could feel it. And I've never felt that from anybody ever or since. You can feel sometimes people's energy, you know, if they're constricted like he was here. You can feel when somebody doesn't want to be bothered with you, or when they're warm and inviting. But I'm talking like filling a space. Like, it was tremendous. So when I was going to get to meet him, Deepak, I thought it was going to be the same thing. I was expecting even next level. Like I thought it was just going to be like this holy experience. And I felt nothing. There was nothing, like nothing. And I thought, that's so weird. Where is it? Like where, I got spoiled with Wayne Dyer, but there was nothing there. And I thought, okay, well, again, maybe it's just me. I don't know, but it was just weird. It was flat. There was just nothing. So that was the first experience. Rolling his eyes, looking in the back of the room, wanting to get the heck out of there. So the second experience, we're kind of smiling in this one because I made a joke. I just told him that I had met him before and that we were friends now, and he laughed. So that's what this was all about. I think what was probably better for him was this experience was before his lecture. So, you know, maybe he had a little bit more energy. I don't know. So that is it. So it was just learning from him, his meditations, and going to see his lectures, not really understanding what he was talking about, and, you know, feeling a little disappointed, but also thinking there's something within me that's not seeing the whole picture here. And several years later, I had noticed that there were sexual abuse lawsuit against him. I think it got resolved in 2020. He won it, but it was from one of his employees. And I thought, I don't like that. Like that's not good. And I don't know why there is this tendency to think that all women are out there for money. That's all that they want, you know, so they're going to lie. And it's to have to come out with something like that is tremendously painful and exhausting. And I don't know why the tendency is always to blame the victim, but I didn't like seeing that. And then in 2021, there was a blog. It's under lioness.co, and it was about someone who had gone to the Chopra Center. She was recovering from addictions, and she needed help. And he became a mentor, and he took advantage of that. And it's quite an incredible blog. But when I read it, I thought there was nothing. There was no profit out of it. She wasn't giving her name. There's no reason to do that. You know, that unless something like that happened to you and you wanted to tell your story, maybe to warn other women to stay away from him. What's going on with the Epstein files is a next level disgusting. And I really try to not be judgmental about things, but when we're involving children, women, boys, that were abused in these horrific ways, you know, I'm sorry, but I'm judgy. Deepak, it's disgusting to be involved in something like that. For the emails to be talking about girls, you're a grown man with a wife, a daughter, like it's disgusting. I am not on a pedestal myself. I do not think that I am above it all or that I haven't made mistakes in my life, but this is about serious abuse. And there's a lot of spiritual leaders out there that are not saying anything. They're not condemning it. And I understand to a degree that you don't want to put yourself out there and act like you're better than. And that's really not what this is. It's to say, do not put anybody on a pedestal. You don't know who they are. And we are all human. We all do make mistakes. We're not perfect. We're doing the best we can. But this is horrific crimes. So to be involved in that, and if you're meditating 3 hours a day and you couldn't see what this man was doing, I think you knew what this man was doing. So that's what I have to say on it. Ick. I have a stack of his books, and then I've got these pictures, and I'm been trying to decide what to do with them. I'm not going to donate them. It's sad because like this was what felt like was supposed to be a good moment. It felt like this is somebody that we're to look up to and learn from, and I can take the part of the meditation that it taught me, that's not going to be lost. And I guess that's the message with all of this. If there was something from him that helped elevate you spiritually, ignore the man and just take the message, because those messages are true. The messages of love, the messages of a higher consciousness, about, tuning into your highest self, peace, love, all of that stuff, that is all true. It doesn't change because the messenger is an a-hole. So keep all the good stuff and get rid of the guru, and know that you are the guru. You're just learning from different people, and you're taking it all in, and you're deciding what to do with it. You are the teacher. You are the spiritual guru. So, and be gentle on yourself with that too, because we always think that we're not enough. We can never achieve this. Well, if we wanted to achieve that, look where we would be. So just be okay with who you are, love yourself through this, and just don't put anyone on a pedestal. Just recognize that I don't know, I don't even know, because it's just, some of it is just so unbelievable that these things are going on and people are acting one way and are actually really disgusting. So I really wanted to come out here and say something really profound, but it does make me sad. It makes me sad that I don't expect anyone to be perfect, but you cannot be out there doing that speaking what you're speaking and then doing that behind closed doors. Ugh. Okay. Anyway, that's it. That's my thoughts.